So I came 7.5 hours to Tallahassee today because Senate Bill 262 was slated to be heard in the Senate. At the last minute, while we were on our way traveling, they did notify us that the bill wouldn't be heard, that it would be temporarily postponed. But we decided to come anyway since we're already en route, as were other people who were already here. And I think this is being very politicized, and it's very sad that they did not make room for the people, and a lot of people have spent money to arrive and be here today before it was even taken off the agenda. So I'm here in front of the Capitol. I'm going to give my testimony anyway. It's just not being heard by the Senate, and I hope they do hear this at some point. Thank you for even considering hearing one bill, 262, though not 560, pertaining to Florida's draconian exemption to the Wrongful Death Act. It would have been a big step for us today to be heard. I want you to know that as a private person who's been pulled into politics due to this law, I cannot begin to understand what it takes for them to navigate and negotiate bills and laws that affect the lives of humans. I am asking, however, that you please recognize and address the real problem here. You know the one, the Wrongful Death Act of Florida, that is currently viewed outside of the Equal Protection Clause of our Constitution, when it clearly should be covered under it for all Floridians. My 64-year-old father was a victim. He was sedated to death because he was inconsolable at the loss of my mother, his companion of over 40 years. And it was easier for the nurses to keep him quiet with unwarranted chemical restraint than to listen to his tears. On his death certificate, they listed that he died of old age, when in fact his medical records show clearly that he was sedated on a drug cocktail that was contraindicated and given too much until he stopped breathing. They even, in fact, tried to reverse his death by administering Narcan, which was an ineffective treatment for the sedation. I am well past the statute of limitations to sue the hospital for taking his life away from me while I was grieving for my mother. I didn't come here to file suit today. I came here because he was not granted equal protection under the law, and to me, that's wrong. As you know, the Wrongful Death Act allows everyone to access a court of law, except for in subsection 8, a small subset of people are stricken from this access, only as it pertains to medical negligence causing death. The FMA president was quoted in Florida politics over this past weekend, saying that the Board of Medicine is who holds doctors accountable. And just to be clear about this, if a person is unmarried and has no minor children, the Board of Medicine is their only possible recourse. If they are not, however, in this category, they are allowed full access to a court. That's not equality. And if it were true that the Board of Medicine responded to every case equally, I would not be standing here. Most of the requests that people submit are not heard at the Board of Medicine at all. The recently submitted amendments against Bill 262 are written in a language that address the problem from the standpoint of money. I'm telling you that we the people are asking our legislators to address this issue from a standpoint of equality, equal access to a court of law, and equal protection under the law for all Florida citizens. The landscape of our nation has finally begun shifting to ensure that all citizens are created equally. The idea that some lives are worth more than others is what's wrong with this law. I'm asking you to create change that affects the lives of so many people. I sent videos, testimonials from 20, 30 people in by email to all Senate members of the Judiciary Committee. There are more people waiting in line to be heard who have never been heard in any official capacity about their negligent loss. This grassroots movement to repeal the Wrongful Death Act has grown substantially because we're able to organize with one another through the blessing of the internet. And I just want legislators to know we are now a unified voice and we are not going anywhere. Thank you.